Okay, well, thank you for joining us for our shape training today. My name is Sarah Shea. I work for Noni by NewAge. It is an absolute pleasure to have you all with us. And what's an absolute pleasure, though, is having Rachel all the way from the corporate office, who has been the star supporter. If you have just started your shape challenge, you know she is running the Facebook group that is the everyone that's doing the challenge all over the world. She is helping support them, supply materials. So I figured this is the best person that we should talk to because she's going to know all of the questions people have asked. And so I have found out all of the answers. So she's the expert in my eyes. And she's just a terrific lady. So I'm stoked to have her join us today. So Rachel, I'm going to pass it over to you to start us on our shape journey.
Yeah, perfect. So I think that we've got, let's see, oh, Sarah, you're going to have to help me out. It looks like I can't share my screen.
Okay, hang on a second.
All right, I will. So while we're figuring this out, let me just say that I know that we have a large number of participants in Australia who are already participating in the Shape Challenge. I recognized several names from our Shape Facebook group that I help manage. Anyway, and I'm just really excited about the traction that we're getting in Australia, and I hope that you're excited about that too. I'm guessing that probably most of you have at least heard something about shape, but our goal today is to be certain that every one of you, whoever it is that's watching today, or whoever's watching the recording, make sure that you know exactly what shape is and how it can lead to greater and greater health. So, Sarah, I think we've got it figured out.
Yep.
Can you see the presentation? Wonderful.
Yeah.
So we've had a lot of success and a lot of excitement around this product. It first launched in the early spring of this year in the United States and Japan, and has been expanding to other markets, Australia included, in the months since. We have heard rave reviews. We've heard some complaints, and we've helped work through some of those complaints. And the complaints really are related to the idea that we're making a lifestyle change and it's not entirely comfortable for everybody. So we're going to talk through some of those pain points and through some of the reasons that this is an exciting product. And maybe the place that we should start with it all is just that there are a lot of different ways that we can fuel our body. There are a lot of different ideas. Some of those ideas are fads. Some of those ideas don't actually promote health and well-being. So we have specifically formulated Shape as a whole food blend of fruits and vegetables with noni, kombucha, and coconut cream, designed to support your nutrition, particularly while intermittent fasting. And the idea is that we're trying to encourage a lifestyle change that really embodies the idea that more important than looking good is feeling good and actually being well. So the whole food goodness of Shape means that it can do really a lot of different things. Now, we've crafted this product to make sure that it doesn't contain any MSG, no artificial preservatives or flavors, sweeteners, or coloring. It has a wide array of fruits and vegetables for whole food nutrition to make sure that you can be confident about what you're giving your body. It has plant-based protein and fiber to ensure a more complete food profile and to help you curb your hunger. It's gluten-free, it's lactose-free, and it doesn't contain any animal byproducts. It's packaged to be convenient. It's shelf-stable, which means that you can take it anywhere you want. You can put it in your refrigerator, and that's how I actually prefer it, but you don't have to. You can put it in your purse, you can put it in your bag and take it wherever it is that you need to go. Some people actually prefer drinking it warm on a cold day. But we've also ensured that noni fiber was an important ingredient in our blend. Now, if you know anything about Noni by NewAge, you know that we really love noni. Polynesians have used noni for thousands of years to support good health in a variety of ways. And we could talk a lot about how noni supports our health. It's more than just our love for noni, though, that led us to include it in Shape. In 2015, there was a study that demonstrated that Noni helps support lean muscle. That's good for all of our bodies. And that's why Noni was simply meant to be included in Shape. So the powerful blend of ingredients that we put into this product means that we've got a product that can support good health. But how do we use it? So I said before, I kind of defined Shape as a whole food blend of fruits and vegetables with Noni, kombucha, and coconut cream, designed to support your nutrition, particularly while intermittent fasting. And that intermittent fasting is the key to how do we use it. Now, as we're going through, and Sarah, I know that you've made mention of this, if you've got questions about what it is that we're doing, type them into the chat box. I want to be sure to be able to answer your questions as we're going along. And I'll answer a few common questions kind of at the end of our presentation. But if yours comes up before we get to the end, ask it and we'll try and answer it as we go. So intermittent fasting, some of you may be familiar with that. It may be new to some, but basically intermittent fasting is a strategic pattern of eating and fasting in a prescribed period of time. The idea here is that when you eat is important. So for our Shape challenge, we're using the 5-2 approach. That means that over the course of a week, you'll eat normal, healthy meals 5 days out of the week, and then you'll select 2 non-consecutive days as fast days. And this is where Shape comes in. On your fast days, you'll drink lots and lots of water, and you'll fast with up to 5 pouches of Shape. You'll get about 500 to 700 calories if you're drinking up to 5 pouches of Shape. Now, you can be flexible with these fast days. They should be non-consecutive. They shouldn't be one right after the other. But if, say, your normal fast days are Tuesdays and Fridays, and then you realize that Friday next week is your daughter's birthday, and you want to celebrate with her, you can switch your fast day and you can fast on a different day. The whole food ingredients and Noni fiber in Shape ensure that you're getting the best bang for your buck on these fast days. Because our nutrition is so limited on these days, we want to make sure that we're putting great food into us. And Shape really helps to eliminate kind of the stress and the confusion. Hopefully it can keep you out of the kitchen and away from temptation on those fast days. Excuse me. Now, there are some benefits to intermittent fasting that I think are really important that we talk about. The idea here is that if you're eating all day, every day, which our modern diet kind of encourages us to do, that means that our organs are going to be digesting all day. And that can lead to them being overworked but undernourished. So intermittent fasting offers our body a break from all of that digesting, and it allows it the chance to do some other work. Now, fasting can boost the brain. The brain has a similar response to fasting as it does to exercise. When you're fasting, you don't trick your brain into thinking that you're exercising, but it does elicit a similar response. Our bodies have evolved over time to be able to function while we're in a fasted state, while we're hungry. If you think about our ancient ancestors who were looking for food, they didn't always get it when they wanted it. And so it was important that their brains and their bodies could be active while they were sometimes very, very hungry. And those people who were able to be clever enough and active enough to secure their food in times of hunger were able to reproduce, and that's how our bodies evolved. So this is something that's happening in your brain when you're in a fasted state, is your brain can become more active. And essentially, whether you're exercising or you're fasting, your brain will increase the protein that's headed, or your body will increase the protein that's headed to your brain, and that's how it promotes brain function. So in our Shape product, we've included coconut cream, which is a healthy fat, in order to help support our brain function while we're in this fasted state. Now, some of the other work that our body has to do while we're fasting is related to insulin. Insulin helps to move sugars out of our bloodstream and into our cells. And eating throughout the day can keep our insulin levels high, because our body will constantly be moving sugar into our cells to serve as fuel. Having high insulin levels throughout the day can take a toll on our body, but intermittent fasting can counteract that. It can help our body learn to work as a fat burner. Instead of constantly searching for sugar, it can go to the fat stores within our body. Intermittent fasting can lead to more energy. It can lead to better sleep, to less moodiness, to clearer thinking. It can stimulate health and efficiency on a cellular level. Intermittent fasting can help with looking good, but much more importantly, it will help with feeling good. Using SHAPE with a 5-2 approach to intermittent fasting means that we can take our goals and give it a plan. And the people that we've seen in our challenge groups, they've seen the results and the benefits that include better sleep and more energy and greater mental clarity. They've felt an overall improved sense of well-being. Now, every single person's body is unique. So as you get on the SHAPE challenge, as you're pursuing your unique health goals, you will see some unique results on your path to better health. It is worth mentioning that anytime you change your exercise program or your nutrition plan, it's worth consulting with your physician. But I do want to talk about a few people and some of the results that they've seen. And the very first story that I'll pop on the screen for you is from Australia. Mary Tashiro, she said that she was really excited that the SHAPE challenge is flexible and not strict. She said, I can enjoy a healthy, normal diet most days of the week. SHAPE tastes amazing, and it's great that participating in this challenge, I get an enormous amount of support from people taking the challenge around the globe. I love the fact that I'm always full of energy and I've been able to sleep better too. My best suggestion is to keep drinking water and take it easy. Choosing to do the SHAPE challenge was one of the best decisions I've made in my life. You're absolutely going to love it. All right. The next story that I've got comes from the US. Angela, this testimonial probably makes me laugh more often than any of the other testimonials that I've had. I spoke with her about this, and as she expressed what she experienced, she was just very in the moment and very much here for what SHAPE and the SHAPE challenge was doing for her. So here's what she said. She said, I experienced headaches the first 2 times I fasted. Then I saw a story from someone who experienced something similar and decided I would try again and succeed. So she fasted twice, which means that she'd fasted for 1 week. Her third fast, the second week that she was fasting, this is what she said. She said, let me tell you, I had so much energy that third time I fasted, even while on the fast. I ran 1.5 miles and worked my abs and my glutes with just SHAPE mega energy. I had no headache, and I'm excited about what SHAPE is doing for me. When I think about how SHAPE can increase your energy, my mind always goes back to Angela, and I think SHAPE mega energy. Anyway, all right. Our next story comes out of Japan. We have a very large group of people doing the challenge there, and we've had lots of really cool stories from them. But this one came from Akihito and Yukari. They're a husband and wife who are doing the challenge together. Akihito said, I started sleeping better and my sleep was deeper thanks to the SHAPE challenge. I felt my overall well-being and health improved. I feel much better than before the challenge. And then I really love what he says about how Yukari reported what she experienced. She said she felt a great sense of accomplishment. She felt real joy in the challenge, like her spirit was soaring. She woke up refreshed, saw decreased swelling in her body, and felt like there were even benefits to her skin. I followed up with Akihito about this, and he was actually really kind of funny. He said, you know, it was hard for me. He said, it was miserable until I had that 5th SHAPE pouch in the day. And I really needed all 5 to be able to get through them. But Yukari, she was flying through with 3 or 4 SHAPE pouches, and she really did seem to grow wings during this. So this is a really good example of how different bodies respond different initially. After the first 3 weeks of the challenge, Akihito had a much easier time because his body got used to burning fat and wasn't looking for sugar all day long. Anyway, so it's just interesting to see how different people respond differently to the challenge. But because they were doing it together, Akihito saw that it was possible. He maybe felt a little bit competitive with his wife, and stuck on the challenge until he could also get to the point where he also felt like he'd accomplished something great and had reached his goals with the challenge. All right, Slaja Bogdanovic, she comes from Austria, and she talks about the very beginning of her experience. She said, on the first day, I drank 4 shape pouches. I labeled them with the time I would drink them. That was kind of her strategy to get through her initial hunger cravings. Then she says, I also drank 3 liters of liquid, along with plenty of Noni tea, water, Noni juice, and 1 coffee. It wasn't too much of a challenge for me, but I did have a slight headache that first day. On my second day of fasting, I wasn't hungry and didn't get a headache. I was in a good mood and full of energy. I started my second week feeling motivated. And then she gives us a tip. For all you women who aren't really athletic, and I would say you men too, who aren't really athletic, I burned calories and kept myself from thinking about food by washing all my windows, and oh, how my apartment shines. We have found in the Shape Challenge that trying to stay busy, to keep your mind off of just the fact that you'd rather be in the kitchen right now, especially in the first couple of weeks, is one of the keys to being successful with your Shape Challenge. So it's not a good idea to, plan to do the Shape Challenge when you have nothing to do. It's actually kind of a better idea to make sure that you've got a day that you have some things that you just have to get done so that you can take your mind off of just being hungry. All right, here's another story from Japan. Let's see, I'm looking at my time, and I think we've got time for all these stories. Sarah, are we still doing okay?
We're good.
All right. Okay, so Ryoko Ito, she said, after giving birth to my 3rd baby, I didn't recognize my body. Around that time, I heard about Shape and decided to try it then and there. I fasted 2 days a week with Shape, drank Noni leaf tea, and made sure I was well hydrated. That's all. I didn't do any special exercises, just my normal routine. It was so easy to do. The reason that she mentions exercise right now is in our Shape group, we talk about tips and tricks to help maximize your results. And one of those tips is to be physically active. But she's making the point that you can actually follow the basic plan of eating healthy, normal meals 5 days a week, fasting with Shape 2 days a week, and you can still get the results that you're looking to see. And I absolutely love that about Ryoko's story. So she goes on to say, while doing Shape, I started eating less and less my 2nd month of the challenge, which was amazing. The snacks I was eating each day gradually decreased to 1/3 of what I had been eating. Because I've been eating less on non-Shape days, I started shopping less too. That's 8 fewer bags of groceries I have to buy each month. Shape has given me inspiration, and good things are happening in droves. And then I think the last story that I'll share today is from Christopher Marvels, also from the US. And excuse me, he said, my first day went well. I thought I was going to be very hungry, but wasn't. I made sure to drink a bottle of water either before or after the smoothie, and that helped. I love the flexibility of Shape. My plan is to go another 30 days. I'm definitely looking forward to the next 30-day Shape Challenge. Christopher, when I asked him about his tips for people who were just starting, he opened up a little bit more, and he said, do you know what? I had a lot of trouble just feeling hungry. The first week or so was actually okay for him. It was the 2nd and the 3rd week that he experienced a little bit more trouble with hunger. He said, what I started to do was I would put cucumber in my water so that it would infuse the water with a little bit of taste, and then I'd take that out, and then I'd drink the cucumber water every time I got hungry. And he said, frankly, that saved my life. He said, I'm telling everybody, just drink some cucumber water, you'll be okay. So this is the kind of experience that you have in our Shape Facebook group, and I'll talk just a little bit more about that. We have Facebook support groups, Shape Challenge groups on Facebook in several different languages. We have one in English, in Chinese, in Japanese, in German, and we have one for Scandinavian countries, so they speak in Norwegian and Swedish and sometimes English. Anyway, but the goal with these challenge groups is to provide additional support to anyone who's participating in the challenge. you will meet a wide variety of people. Some people who are fitness addicts, some people who are just looking for something healthy to do, some people who are very committed to the challenge, and some people who, you know what, they need a little bit of convincing. And all of these people come together in this community to share our experiences, to share our tips, to share our encouragement and support of each other. Through these Facebook groups, we provide additional education about how to use Shape, about how to intermittent fast. We answer questions about whatever questions you have. And sometimes we get some weird ones and we answer them. Sometimes we get some fun ones, and sometimes we get one that we've heard 15 times, but we'll still answer it. Just because as you progress through your Shape journey, you're going to have different experiences. And as you become more advanced in your Shape journey, you find that you're able to share some of these advice, some of your suggestions with other people, and that's kind of a fun thing. So Australia actually has a pretty significant presence in our group. Sarah, it seems like we're adding more and more people, almost by the handfuls every week. So so I'm actually pretty excited about the experiences that you guys are sharing in that group, and the new people that are coming in to that group. Know that we're there to support you. So this address, this facebook.com/groups/shape challenge, that is our English language group. If you need a different language, just let us know. And we'll point you to the right group. You can let Sarah know, you can reach out to me through. One of the things that Sarah wanted me to go through is, so, okay, we know what Shape is, we know a little bit about intermittent fasting. How do we actually start the challenge? Excuse me for just a minute. Whew, I got a little sick over the weekend, and I'm coming back from that. So to start the challenge, it's fairly simple. You buy a 30-day Shape pack, and then you join the Facebook group. And in the Facebook group, we tell you what to do. We give you the challenge guide. We talk through any questions that you have. We've got some educational pieces that you can go through on a week-by-week basis. You can go through all of the education that we have immediately if you're too excited and just can't wait. Or if you want to do it 1 week at a time, we've got your first 4 weeks covered with ideas and thoughts and some more learnings that will help you to have a good experience on your journey. So once you've got your pack, once you've joined the Facebook community, really your job is just to incorporate Shape using a 5-2 intermittent fasting method. We've talked about what that is, and it really is as simple as I explained it. 2 days, 2 non-consecutive days a week, you're going to eat up to 5 Shape pouches. When do you eat them? How do you eat them? Anytime you want on your fasting days, however you want on your fasting days. You could eat them all at once, or you could space them out very regimented throughout the day. Some people in our group, I just absolutely love all of the tips and tricks that we get through our group. Some people, so the Shape, it comes in pouches, and I've got one in my fridge. I should have brought it over to show you, but it comes in pouches, right? And some people, they'll eat it straight, and then they'll put water in the pouch and shake it up and then drink that to make sure that they get every little bit of Shape out of it. Other people, they actually prefer to combine the Shape with water to make them feel fuller as they're taking it. My approach is just to drink the Shape pouch, and I'll have some water before, some water after, and then I'll go on with my day. But you can really be as creative as you want. You could heat this up. You could freeze it into a popsicle. We've seen a lot of different things, and I'm sure we haven't seen everything yet. Anyway, but yeah, that's step number 2 is just do it. Take the Shape challenge, do it for 30 days. And then the last thing that we really want you to do is to report back. Tell us what your experiences were. If you're having a bad experience, reach out to me sooner rather than later, and we can help you work through some of the troubles that you're experiencing. But whatever your experience is, at the end of 30 days, we want you to report back, and we've got an address in Australia that you can report back to. All right, Sarah, you asked me to also go through a couple of questions.
Yeah, we're under our 10-minute mark now, so we want to
Okay.
You want to go
All
through
right.
you got?
All right. So I've got just a couple questions. If you have any more, let us know. We'll answer the real questions that you've got. But the most common questions that I have heard is, number one, is fasting healthy? A lot of people haven't actually heard of intermittent fasting, and they say, you know what, to go that long, that often without food, is that actually what we want to do? Well, you don't want to go every day without food. That is actually not healthy. But intermittent fasting, particularly with the kind of support that we're talking about with Shape, where you're staying hydrated every day of the week, where you're taking Shape 2 days a week during your fast, then absolutely fasting is healthy for almost everyone. It gives your body the break from digestion that we talked about. It allows your body to work on some essential things. We've talked about some benefits that come from fasting, but there are actually a few people that fasting may not be healthy for. And let me mention those. You probably shouldn't participate in the Shape Challenge if you're pregnant or you're breastfeeding. You probably shouldn't participate if you have a chronic medical condition. And you know what, you could go and talk to your doctor and see if this is an appropriate solution for you. You probably shouldn't participate in the Shape Challenge if you've had an eating disorder. And you probably shouldn't participate in the Shape Challenge if you're over 70 years old. So those are some groups of people that we're particularly concerned about that for one reason or another, Shape just may not, or Shape with the intermittent fasting portion of it just may not be a good choice for. But for most people, fasting is absolutely healthy, and it's actually something that is a good choice. All right, question number 2. What is the hardest thing about the Shape Challenge? And I've alluded to it. It's being hungry. For the first couple of fasts, almost everybody experiences some measure of hunger. There are some lucky people that just say it's easy, and that's awesome. You may be one of those people, but for most people, that's actually really hard. There are also some other things. Because our body is used to burning sugar, and intermittent fasting helps us remember how to burn fat instead. There's some other things that can happen at the very beginning that's also very difficult for some people. You heard me mention in our testimonials that some people experience headaches. That's a thing that happens when our body is searching for that sugar and doesn't find it. Sometimes it signals us with a headache. The other thing is sometimes people experience very low energy for their first week or 2 of fasting. All of those things are overcome as our body gets used to fasting. Anyway, so I guess that's what I'll say about what's the hardest thing. We have some tips, some ideas to cope with all of those things. With extreme hunger, with headaches, with low energy, we'll give you some ideas in our Facebook group about what to do with that. All right. Another question is, what can I eat on my fast days? And this question comes at me in a lot of different ways. It's people asking, is this okay? Is this okay? Is this okay? And you can ask about all of those things. We'll give you answers. But the basic answer is, on your fast days, have up to 5 Shape pouches, have lots and lots and lots of water. And then you can have black coffee or tea, as long as you're not adding sugar or cream or anything like that. All right, I see a couple more questions that come through our chat bar. Let me see. How should we drink coffee, tea while fasting? Is milk still okay? Whew, Henny. I mentioned that a little bit in our group today when I talked about stevia. There are 2 kinds of, well, I don't want to get into all that. The short answer is no. The longer answer includes a maybe, but you'll have to come to the Facebook group for us to talk a little bit more about that. So the short answer is no. Don't add milk to your coffee or tea. It should be plain. Okay. Let's see, Daryl. I see that you asked, is supplementary Noni blended in with water okay on the fasting days? The answer is absolutely yes. On our fasting days, we should continue to drink our Noni. That's totally okay. That would only benefit your fast. So yes, you can drink Noni. The 2 ounces, the 60 milliliters that you normally take, you can take that straight. You can blend it in with water. You could add it to your Shape water cocktail. Yes, all of that's okay. All right, Sarah, I'm gonna kind of pause. This is close to the end of the presentation. Is there anything else that you want to talk about?
Well, I mean, obviously, thank you, Rachel. It was awesome. You got this. I mean, firstly, obviously, we have a promotion on this month because we are celebrating that we actually have shape back in our stock. So we had a bit of a rough start. We launched, didn't have a product. We had product, we sold it out, and we came back again. So we do have a lot of
Popular.
I know, right? So we're pretty excited that we're getting lots of people join the Shape Challenge group, which is awesome. We do have a promotion going on at the moment with that. So you do the 30-day challenge, you get an extra 10 pouches for free. Henny has actually asked a question, can we take 6 pouches if we're still hungry?
Yeah. Henny, I'm gonna let you decide that. I will tell you, we're trying to hit 500 to 600 calories on our fast days. If we eat all 5 shape pouches, that's 750 calories. So even though it feels like you really, really, really need it, as long as your body is functioning normally, you'll be okay without it. Now, that's really hard to say when you're really, really hungry. And so we talk about in our group that for some people, it's totally appropriate to take a slightly different approach in the beginning. We talk about that in 2 different ways. Number one, if you're having a very difficult time fasting, then consider shortening from a 24-hour period to a shorter period of time. Maybe instead of 24 hours of fasting, maybe you have 18 hours of fasting where you still take those 5 shape pouches, lots of water and coffee and tea as you like. Anyway, so that's one of the approaches. The other approach would be that, you know what, if you're having a really, really hard time, then maybe this time, yeah, you do take shape pouches. Maybe the next time you take 6 shape pouches as well. But the idea is that whichever approach we're taking in the beginning, we're trying to meet the ideal at some point. You don't have to meet the ideal right now, but if in, another couple of weeks, maybe you'll only be taking 5.5 shape pouches. And then maybe the week after that, maybe then you'll only be taking 5 shape pouches. So Henny, you're the one that's going to have to decide that. Yes, that's an appropriate decision based on what your goals are.
I've got Carla actually came in halfway through. So do you have any questions?
No, I've got no questions.
Okay. I know there's different types of fasting. I know we've had that question come through. There's all different approaches, and you kind of can actually combine that in using the shapes still, right? It's just we've taken a basic approach.
Yeah, so our approach is a weekly approach to intermittent fasting, right? All intermittent fasting means is that you eat for a while and then you don't eat for a while. So we're looking at our period of time as a week. A lot of people when they're intermittent fasting, they'll actually look at a daily period of time. And so one of the common approaches to intermittent fasting, other than 5-2, is what they call an 18-6. 18 hours out of the day, you're fasting. 6 hours out of the day, you're eating. Anyway, and so that is a very common approach. One of our tips for people who feel like, oh, I am rocking this 5-2 and I'm ready for more, I really want to maximize my results, is to go ahead and combine either a 16-8 or an 18-6 into their weekly plan. And we talk about how to do that in our Facebook group. So yeah, Sarah, there's loads of ways that you can intermittent fast, and we want to support anything that you want to do.
Okay, that's awesome. Well, I think that nobody else has got any more questions up, and I'm worried we're less than a minute, so I don't want to get us cut off.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. Perfect timing, Rachel, and it's a pleasure to actually have you. We're so grateful to have you join us and share all of your information. Make sure you get started on your shape challenge. Rachel's on that group. Make sure you get onto that Facebook group when you start using the product. It's an awesome support that she's got going on there.
Cool. All right. Thanks, everybody.
Thanks, guys. You have a great day.